1 in every 850 babies born in Australia has Down syndrome. It's a chromosomal disorder, which is one of the most common causes of intellectual disability. When Kristin Mathiassen's son was born with Downs 4 years ago, the Hobart artist focused her creative talents on honouring and celebrating Downs children. But first, she and her son Lucah had to confront leukaemia. Jocelyn Nettlefold reports on their short, often fraught, but defiantly joyous life together.
Working on her art, Kristin Mathiassen finds the strength and calmness she needs to cope with being the sole parent of a Down syndrome boy.
It's been a way of me putting things out, I think. I never really had any problems with depression or anything like that when Lucah was diagnosed, and obviously it was very difficult, but I didn't lose the plot. I actually never thought that I'd be able to have children. And I'd given up, I think, the hope of having kids. So it was a big shock, but it was a good shock.
When the 35-year-old gave birth to her first and only child, euphoria was tempered by medical concern.
4 days of testing, basically, before they came back and told me that he had Down syndrome. After Lucah was born, I found out that the name Lucah means bringer of light, which to me was perfect, really, for him. But that also says a lot about Lucah too, because he is. He brings so much joy to so many people, and in the most bizarre ways.
Yet all his life, Lucah Dunn and his mother have continually encountered fear and apprehension about Down syndrome from the wider community.
People are just really quite anxious about it. And I've actually had people when Lucah was born asking if they could catch it. So, yeah, a lot of people don't understand it.
What also stunned this Tasmanian artist about becoming a parent of a child with special needs was that all she was handed after the diagnosis was gloomy information about the things that could go wrong. She started working with the camera and canvas to express the happiness of their life, to share with other parents of Down's children.
People forget that motherhood and that excitement is still actually a part of it. It's not all depressing and sad and woe is me sort of stuff. That woman is still a mum and is still excited about being a mum. It's just that there's another twist to it.
And with Down syndrome, there are plenty of twists. Early last year, Lucah Dunn's health suddenly deteriorated.
I took him into the doctor and he sent us off for blood tests straight away, and within an hour I basically got a phone call saying Lucah has leukemia.
He was rushed from Hobart to Sydney to start intensive and potentially dangerous therapy.
Children with Down syndrome, unfortunately, have to bear a very high incidence of leukemia. And if that's not enough, what we find is that they don't tolerate treatment as well as a child who doesn't have Down syndrome. And so we have to be very careful with the sorts of medicines we use, as well as the doses, because sometimes the treatments can kill the children.
Luciana Della Posa is an oncologist at Sydney's Westmead Children's Hospital who cared for Lucah Dunn most of last year. The 3-year-old managed to beat the leukemia.
There's such a massive power of hope in those sorts of situations, and the doctors and the staff give that to you big time.
Well, I'm very pleased with you.
However, after treatment, the little boy was ravaged by dangerous infections. Kristin Mathiassen remained by his bedside with every reason to fear the worst.
She was quite special and quite unique. She was extraordinarily devoted, a fierce, savage advocate. She was an advocate for her son, but not only that, for children with Down syndrome.
A few times she doubted if her special boy would ever come home and couldn't bear the prospect of life without him.
I know that those thoughts of suicide weren't something that would come to pass because I'm not that selfish. But yeah, it was there, and most parents do go through that, and there's a lot of parents that do actually take it that step further when they're in that situation, because it's not a place you really want to be.
If you hold me tonight.
Reflections on the fight with leukemia are among lyrics Kristin Matthiessen has penned with her friend Melinda Swan. The music will be part of her exhibition in Hobart, reflecting this very personal journey with Down syndrome.
Sometimes it's really hurtful. I have, friends that come around with their kids that are the same age as Lucah. And, sometimes when they leave, I sit down and have a bit of a cry.
I've never heard the, oh, why me, or anything like that. From Kristin, she's just an amazing person.
Lucah Dunn is still officially in remission and up to most of the tricks common for 4-year-old boys.
We've been given sort of 80 to 85% success, which is really quite high. Children with Down syndrome recover so much better and respond so much better to treatment than other children, so that's one big tick for Down syndrome.
He will not remember what he went through here. His mother will, and we will certainly remember them.
With leukemia behind them, Kristin Matthiessen says there's plenty to look forward to. The milestone of school next year, a few more creative projects, and that ultimate for every parent, having a child revelling in a happy and healthy life.
Lucah has an amazing connection with music and theatre and stuff, so I just sort of want to encourage him to do what he likes to do, really.
As part of National Down Syndrome Week, Kristin Mathiessen's exhibition will open at the Waterside Pavilion on Mawson Place next Friday night. Tasmanian surfer Stuart